Hi, Muhammed, I'm Hamdan, and this is Nightline, and here are the top stories. Student in critical condition after falling from school dorm. And senior DBKL officer among 3 remanded in 11-year IT corruption probe. Good morning. A 15-year-old student, Ahmad Ahmad Hanafi, sustained serious injuries after falling from the 3rd floor of his school dormitory in Sabak Bernang, Selangor, early Tuesday morning. The police and the Education Ministry have launched investigations into the incident, which will also examine whether bullying was involved. The victim's family had urged for the investigation to be conducted with full transparency and requested the public to keep him in their prayers. Irfan is currently reported to be in critical condition in the intensive care unit at the Sungai Buloh Hospital. According to his family, he sustained serious injuries to his brain, lungs and jaw. The Form 3 student underwent brain surgery at the hospital on Tuesday and has been placed in a medically induced coma for 48 hours. The victim's uncle, Muhammad Aidil Mansor, said the family was only informed of the incident at 4 a.m. by the school authorities.
Saya mintakan keadilan. Maksudnya kalau benda ni ketelusan, kalau ada sebarang keberkalian apa-apa, maklumkan. Jadinya kita tak nak berlaku kes sebelum ni terjadi pada orang seterusnya.
Irfan is described as a well-behaved, disciplined student who is active in school activities, including in the rugby team. Earlier, Education Minister Fadlina Siddiq confirmed that her ministry is conducting an internal investigation into the incident and examining all angles, including allegations of bullying. Until the probe is completed, the principal, senior assistant for student affairs and all hostel wardens involved will be temporarily reassigned to the Selangor Education Department. In a Facebook post, Fadlina assured the public that the ministry will not compromise on any acts of bullying and that stern action will be taken if they are proven. In Putrajaya, Education Director General Muhammad Ahmad said in a special media conference that the school had followed standard operating procedures in handling the incident. He explained that the school's immediate priority was to take the student to the hospital to save his life before notifying his parents.
Kita kena faham dalam keadaan kecemasan. Kita berikan tumpuan pada keselamatan pelajar dulu. Saya percaya ini yang diambil oleh guru saya. Dan pada masa itu, bila pelajar dah sampai ke hospital, barulah kita akan fikir perkara lain. Jadi jadi mungkin itu yang berlaku. Mungkin satu pihak mungkin itu adalah satu kelewatan, tapi dari satu pihak itu adalah satu kebijaksanaan.
Azam noted that the ambulance arrived at the school at around 3:20 a.m. The student was first taken to the Sabak Bernam Hospital before being transferred to the Sungai Buloh Hospital. The parents were informed only after the student received initial treatment. Azam said in light of the incident, the ministry has instructed the Chief Inspector of Schools to carry out nationwide safety audits in all schools.
Dapatan audit keselamatan itu hendaklah dilaporkan kepada saya setiap minggu untuk saya bawa kepada menteri dan perincikan dan apakah tindakan yang perlu diambil. Jadi itu antara inisiatif-inisiatif untuk kita melihat secara keseluruhan. Bukan kita lihat satu aspek saja, tapi kita.
He added that surprise inspections will also be conducted at schools and hostels. In another development, the police are gathering statements from witnesses and other relevant individuals in connection with the incident involving the Form 3 student. Selangor Police Chief Datuk Shazli Kaha emphasized that any speculation relating to the case, including allegations of bullying, is premature at this stage. He stated that an investigation paper has been opened under Section 31(1) of the Child Act for child endangerment. The investigation is being conducted from multiple angles, including student safety protocols, dormitory management and the victim's social background and circle of friends. He also urged the public not to make assumptions that could interfere with the probe or upset the family's victim. The Prime Minister has urged government-linked investment companies or GLICs to step up their investments to help bridge the digital divide in Malaysia. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, who is also the Finance Minister, emphasised that such corporate initiatives will not only drive national development but also ensure that all Malaysians benefit from the country's digital transformation.
Ini hal-hal yang bukan saja harus difikir oleh pimpinan politik, tetapi oleh kita semua. Kerana kita nak negara ini maju. Kita tak mahu ada yang rasa terpinggir dan tersisih daripada arus pembangunan.
Anwar also pointed out that Celcom DG Berhad's flagship CD NXT program launched on Tuesday with a 10 billion ringgit investment to develop Malaysia's next generation of digital leaders was an example of efforts that should be emulated. He added that the country must act swiftly to embrace innovation and technology without neglecting rural communities. Malaysia also needs to move in step with other nations in mastering artificial intelligence or AI technology. Such measures are crucial to ensure the country remains competitive globally.
The Sultan of Brunei, Sultan Hassan Al Bolkiah, was accorded a state welcome to mark the start of his official visit to Malaysia, which began on Monday. His Majesty's arrival at Istana Negara on Tuesday was received by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim.
The state welcome ceremony at the palace's main lobby began with the playing of the national anthems of Brunei and Malaysia, followed by a 21-gun salute. Also present were Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, as well as several members of the cabinet and top government officials. Sultan Hassanal then held a meeting with Sultan Ibrahim, during which the two monarchs discussed bilateral relations. The state visit is at the invitation of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. On Wednesday, Sultan Hassanal is scheduled to attend the 26th Malaysia-Brunei Annual Leaders Consultation and hold talks with Anwar.
Moving on, 3 individuals, including a senior Kuala Lumpur City Hall officer detained by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission over graft allegations, have been remanded for 4 days until this Friday. The arrests are believed to be linked to the procurement of an information technology IT project, with the corrupt practices alleged to have been ongoing for 11 years.
MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki, when contacted, confirmed that statements have been recorded from 15 individuals so far, with more expected to be called in on Wednesday to assist in the investigation.
Beliau menguruskan juga berkaitan dengan projek. Jadi perkara ini ada kaitan dengan urusan rasmi dengan pihak kontraktor berkenaan yang melibatkan dari segi penjualan aset pegawai berkenaan kepada syarikat yang dikatakan pernah mendapat projek dengan pihak DBKL.
According to MACC sources, the Jusar B grade officer in his 50s was arrested at his office in the capital on Monday, while 2 other suspects, a company owner and a 40-something member of the public, were detained at MACC headquarters in Putrajaya and the Commission's Kuala Lumpur office on the same day. The company owner is alleged to have paid bribes to the DBKL officer to secure contracts related to IT projects. MACC reportedly seized cash estimated at 150,000 ringgit, along with 4 telecommunication devices, 2 luxury vehicles, branded handbags and shoes. In addition, 19 personal and company bank accounts amounting to over 7 million ringgit have been frozen. Following the arrest of the senior DBKL officer, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Federal Territories, Datuk Seri Dr. Zaliha Mustafa, has assured that both the Federal Territories Department and DBKL will extend their full cooperation to the MACC. She stressed that there will be no compromise on any misconduct by anyone and that the MACC must be given the opportunity to carry out its investigations. Meanwhile, in a statement, DBKL emphasized that it takes issues of integrity, transparency and governance seriously and that it will fully cooperate with MACC during the probe. DBKL also reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring that all dealings are conducted transparently with full accountability and integrity.
The government has imposed a ban on raw timber exports and said that the resource should be reserved for domestic use instead. Plantation and Commodities Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani said the move is aimed at stabilising supply and reducing the risk of deforestation.
According to Johari, the government will still allow the export of wood-based products, including furniture.
Kita tanam balik semula ladang ini. Kita ada 147,000 hektar. Tujuan dia, kerajaan membiayai sebahagian daripada pinjaman ini. Kita tak benarkan kayu-kayu ini dieksport secara balak. Kita nak kayu-kayu ini diguna pakai untuk pemrosesan kegunaan dalam negara, dan kalau ada furniture produk yang bersangkut paut dengan kayu, kita benarkan untuk ekspor furniture tersebut.
He added that the government will permit the import of logs for furniture processing or construction materials, but only from countries that practice sustainable forestry. Johari further noted that Malaysia's wood-based exports comply with international sustainability standards, and any violations could risk access to foreign markets. For the record, Malaysia's wood-based furniture industry recorded export earnings of 22.3 billion ringgit last year.
The Malaysian Investment Development Authority, or MIDA, plans to partner with Media Prima Berhad to disseminate accurate investment landscape narratives to the masses. The strategic cooperation will be further strengthened to channel investment-related information that benefits local companies.
The commitment was shared by MIDA's Chief Executive Officer, Datuk Shaikh Shamsul Ibrahim Abdul Majid, during a corporate visit to Balai Berita in Bangsa, Kuala Lumpur on Tuesday. He was welcomed by Media Prima's top management, led by Group Chairman Datuk Sri Dr. Syed Hussein Al-Junaid and Group Managing Director Datuk Rafiq Razali.
Local companies pun kita cuba untuk amplify berita mengenai mereka. Because kita sebenarnya bukan sahaja membantu syarikat-syarikat asing untuk melabur di Malaysia, kita juga membantu syarikat-syarikat tempatan.
He noted that the country's investment outlook remains resilient, supported by a steady flow of quality project proposals. As at July 31st, MIDA is facilitating a solid investment pipeline of 385 potential projects, collectively valued at 22.5 billion ringgit. For the first half of this year, Malaysia recorded 190.3 billion ringgit in approved investments, up by 18.7% year-on-year, creating over 89,000 new jobs.
President Donald Trump on Monday threatened additional tariffs and export restrictions on countries he says are targeting U.S. tech firms. Posting on Truth Social, Trump claimed that digital taxes and regulations, such as the Digital Markets Act and Digital Services Act, are designed to harm American technology. His comments appeared to be aimed at Europe and other nations with laws governing online competition and content. The UK, for instance, has a digital services tax, though Trump did not name specific countries. He warned that unless what Washington deems discriminatory actions are removed, the US will impose substantial tariffs and restrict exports of American tech and chips. Court orders grave of Shamsul Haris to be exhumed. More from the local front after this breather.
Pelbagai tetakan, banyak sangat tetakan. Dan tetakan itu boleh nampak dia tu terlalu marah ke atas mangsa tersebut.
Ke-19 suspek ni, mereka semua kawan sebenarnya. Mengayat hati saya jugalah. kerana dia telah menderita sebelum dia mengembuskan nafasnya yang terakhir.
Top 5 Carta Muzik 40 minggu ini. Dari terompah ke sepatu, warisan alas kaki yang perlu dipelihara.
Ikrar kita harapan satu nyawa, derma organ bantu ringankan beban pesakit.
Disepak, dicekik, dimaki. Tersimpan kisah hitam mangsa buli, cerita anda kongsikan bersama kami.
Gajah haiwan bijak, sesat tahu jalan pulang, tetapi bagi beberapa kes, bantuan manusia amat diperlukan.
Dan soal awang mengenai ansuran.
MHI Isnin hingga Jumaat 10 pagi, juga stream ditonton hanya di TV3.
Kita orang Sarawak, macam-macam aktiviti best minggu kita di studio tonton drama sangat. Ada gaya macam ratu, pertandingan ratu etnik drama sangat dah tunggu. Untuk adik-adik, tunjukkan bakat Nurana Ejen Ali sambil bergambar dengan maskot Ejen Ali. Yang hati kental, boleh cuba masuk trail rumah hantu. Dan mestilah personaliti media prima dan artis drama sangat pun ada. Selfie banyak-banyak, okey? Jumpa kita semua di Karnival Jom Heboh Sarawak, dataran perayaan Petra Jaya Kuching 5 hingga 7 September ini. Jom, jom, jom!
Demi mempertahan prinsip, keberanian politik dan kesatuan serantau, memperkukuh ekosistem serantau yang inklusif, kemerdekaan dan kedaulatan, bolehkah ASEAN pertahan hak negara kecil? Kupasannya dalam Soal Rakyat bersama tetamu Profesor Madya Dr. Muhammad Mahadi Ismail dan Profesor Dr. Muhammad Mizan Aslam. Sabtu 30 Ogos 5.30 petang hanya di TV3.
Welcome back. More than 173,000 mule accounts have been identified between 2022 and July this year, following a surge in online fraud activities. In response, the Home Ministry and the police have carried out various enforcement measures to curb such crimes.
According to Deputy Home Minister Datuk Seri Syamsul Anwar Nasara, the ministry is also working closely with financial institutions and other stakeholders to combat online fraud and the use of mule accounts.
Maknanya kita lakukan berusaha dan yang penting kita sentiasa meningkatkan keupayaan kita guna teknologi, kepakaran pegawai dan sebagainya. Malah kita memang sedang berusaha untuk meningkatkan jumlah kepegawaian dan kepakaran kita bagi menghadapi cabaran yang semakin sukar.
As at July 31st, a total of 11,753 cybercrime prevention programs, including exhibitions and talks, had been conducted to tackle the issue and educate the public.
The Shah Alam High Court on Tuesday ordered the grave of University Technology Malaysia's Reserve Officers Training Unit or Palapis Cadet Shamsul Haris Shamsuddin to be exhumed for a second post-mortem. The order was issued by Judge Datuk Bhupinder Singh after hearing the application of the deceased mother, Ummu Haiman B. Daulat Gun.
The High Court ruled that the Inspector General of Police will oversee the exhumation process at the Kampung Rinching Ulu Muslim Cemetery where Shamsul Haris was laid to rest. Family lawyer Datuk Naran Singh said the second autopsy must be conducted within 14 days once the body is exhumed. He added that the full report must be prepared within a reasonable time and a copy provided to the applicant's lawyers. On Monday, the court was also informed that the family had filed a new affidavit presenting an audio recording allegedly from someone with knowledge of what happened on the day of Shamsul Haris's death. The recording was submitted in transcript form and via USB as supporting evidence for the exhumation request. 22-year-old Shamsul Haris died on July 28th at the Kota Tinggi Hospital after undergoing training at the Army Combat Training Centre in Ulu Tiram. An internal investigation by the Malaysian Armed Forces found no evidence of abuse or mistreatment during the training session.
Israeli aggression in Gaza. OIC issues strong demands. The details when Nightline returns.
Dari terompah ke sepatu, warisan alas kaki yang perlu dipelihara.
Ikrar kita harapan satu nyawa, derma organ bantu ringankan beban pesakit.
Disepak, dicekik, dimaki. Tersimpan kisah hitam mangsa buli, cerita anda kongsikan bersama kami.
Gajah haiwan bijak, sesat tahu jalan pulang, tetapi bagi beberapa kes, bantuan manusia amat diperlukan.
Dan soal awang mengenai ansuran.
MHI Isnin hingga Jumaat 10 pagi, juga stream ditonton hanya di TV3.
Kalau tak jumpa ghostnet tu sangat menakutkan sebenarnya.
Ada risiko dia sebab skala besar.
Memang akan ada punya ikan yang mati, penyu yang mati. Tak semua kita dapat selamatkan.
Pendekatan dalam Didik TV ini saya lebih gemar penonton melihat kepada keadaan sebenar.
Apa ni murid-murid?
Didik TV ini telah banyak membantu saya terutamanya apabila di fasa-fasa akhir ingin menuju ke peperiksaan SPM.
Alah, tengah sedap tergantung pula. Sabar jap, biar abang yang setelkan bil tonton.
Tak perlu overthinking, just keep watching. Lagi mudah bayar bil tonton terus melalui bil telefon. Pilih telco kegemaran, bayar dan sambung layan sampai tak berhenti.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton. News from the foreign front. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation, or OIC, has called for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza, demanding an end to Israeli aggression and the full withdrawal of Israeli forces. Secretary General Hissène Brahim Taha condemned what he described as genocide, ethnic cleansing, forced displacement, systematic destruction, and the blockade of Gaza. He also accused Israel of using starvation as a weapon of war. He further denounced settlement expansion, particularly in the E1 area of Jerusalem, and attacks on journalists, saying such actions warrant prosecution under international law. Taha warned that Israel's plans to impose full military control over Gaza and pursue a greater Israel vision present a flagrant breach of international law. In the meantime, Malaysia has called on all nations that have yet to recognize Palestine to do so without delay. Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Hassan stressed that the time has come to ensure full justice for the Palestinian people.
Muhammad delivered the message at the extraordinary meeting of the Council of Foreign Ministers of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, or OIC, in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia on Monday. In his statement, Muhammad reaffirmed Malaysia's unwavering commitment to an independent and sovereign Palestinian state. He also demanded an unconditional and permanent ceasefire, the opening of humanitarian aid corridors, and the complete withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. Meanwhile, in a statement issued by Wisma Putra on Tuesday, Muhammad strongly condemned the Zionist regime's plans to seize Gaza by military force, describing the move as an attempt at illegal and continuous colonization of Palestinian land. He also voiced concern over the deepening humanitarian crisis in Gaza, noting the rising death toll and the declaration of famine in the enclave by the United Nations.
Meanwhile, the Associated Press and Reuters have demanded accountability from Israeli forces over an airstrike on a hospital in southern Gaza that killed 20 people, including 5 journalists, 3 of whom worked for the 2 agencies. In a joint letter to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the agency said they were outraged that independent journalists were among those killed in Monday's strike on the Nasser Medical Complex in Khan Yunis. They stressed the journalists were on duty documenting the war at a time when Israel has barred foreign reporters from entering Gaza for nearly 2 years. The Israeli army acknowledged the strike, claiming it does not target journalists and that it has launched an internal inquiry. The agency, however, voiced doubt, saying past investigations rarely produce clarity or accountability. To date, at least 62,819 Palestinians have been killed and 158,629 injured since October 2023. Australia has given Iran's ambassador 7 days to leave the country after alleging that the Iranian government directed anti-Semitic attacks in Sydney and Melbourne. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese told a press conference on Tuesday that intelligence services had linked Iran to an arson attack on a cafe in Sydney in October last year and another on a synagogue in Melbourne in December. He said the two incidents were attempts to undermine social cohesion and sow discord in the community. Ambassador Ahmad and 3 other officials have been ordered to leave Australia. Canberra has also withdrawn its own diplomats from Tehran. Iran has absolutely rejected the allegations. And on to sports now. Badminton. Day 2 of the 2025 World Championships brought a boost for Malaysia as Leong Junhao eased through his opening match in Paris following Li Zijia's early exit on Monday.
The world number 25 barely broke a sweat at the Adidas Arena, sweeping past Switzerland's Tobias Kenzie 21-12, 21-14, a solid warm-up ahead of tougher challenges. He now faces a stern challenge in the second round against Japan's Kenta Nishimoto. With Zijia out, Junhao now shoulders Malaysia's men's singles hopes. In the women's singles, Kay Lachana made a winning start to her debut, defeating Hong Kong's Saloni Samirbai Mehta 21-18, 21-8. The 22-year-old's victory set her up for a much tougher challenge in the second round against India's PV Sindhu, the 2019 world champion. However, fellow national representative Goh Jin-wei saw her campaign cut short, losing 14-21, 9-21 to China's Gao Fangjie. It was the world number 51's third World Championships appearance and her most disappointing to date.
Moving on to weightlifting, the 2025 Commonwealth Championships. Despite battling a shoulder injury, Muhammed secured an impressive overall third-place finish in Ahmedabad, India on Monday.
Competing for the first time in the new men's under 60 kilogram category, Anik lifted 111 kilograms in the snatch and 142 kilograms in the clean and jerk for a 253 kilogram total. The result placed him third in the podium behind India's Rishikanta Singh Chanambam with 271 kilograms and Arumuga Pandian Maharajan, who posted 254 kilograms. The Johor-born lifter's performance all but guarantees his spot at next year's Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Anik, who won gold in Birmingham 2022 in the under 55 kilogram class, chose to compete despite a shoulder tendon injury, aiming to collect crucial qualifying points.
And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at the recent snowfall in the Andes, which gave Santiago stunning views of snow-covered peaks over the weekend. With that, I'm Muhammed, and thanks for watching and stay safe.